welcome back to those who are frequent watchers of our show.
Yeah.
What's up if this is your first time? This is This Week in White Supremacy. I am Jasiri X. I am the co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right...
It's a miracle.
What's up? It's your girl, Big Blessings, a.k.a. Marshala Miracle. I did it right? I said it right?
Can you move the mic just a little closer?
You know, I'm working on my pronunciations.
Mashallah Miracle in the building.
Yes.
Mabruk.
And I do want to say, Miracle, you know, we really appreciate how you show up with One Hood, how you show up for us. We really appreciate the way, you know, you hold us down here at One Hood Media, Miracle. And you are really, you are a Coretta, Miracle. You are a Coretta. You are One Hood. You're One Hood's Coretta, Miracle.
Where is this going? I was like, am I going to get fired live on air?
You're One Hood's Coretta, Miracle. What?
Actress Megan Good has remained by his side, even present for our interview.
How would you describe your relationship?
She's held me down like a Coretta. You know?
Has she, Jonathan?
Oh, my days.
Somebody said that the Dr. King estate is issuing a cease and desist.
Yeah, as they should.
To Jonathan Majors. Please stop using our mom's name. And unfortunately, our brother Trouble, who is normally here, is under the weather.
Niggas look sick, man.
And my brother.
Man, you know, we just here, man. We just some strong Africans in democracy.
Strong Africans in democracy.
Are we?
You know, that was that. Did you see the controversial statements from Cam?
Nah.
Cam
Yeah, I agree with Cam.
He was a black American,
He's
not
a black
African American.
I mean,
are we strong Africans or are we? I guess Africans is the acronym.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Right. For what's your name, sir?
Supreme Asiatic Intelligently Divine. You know, when I'm around, squirrels are in danger.
Saeed, for those that don't know. With that being said, yes, it's been an interesting week,
to say the least.
To say the least. You know, I don't know if Jonathan Majors will be saved by his Coretta, by Megan Good. You know,
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Look, I just hope the best for Jonathan Majors. I hope he gets the help he needs. You know.
He won though. I just want.
What did he win? He lost.
He won a Coretta.
He won. He said he wanted a Coretta.
He wanted a Coretta,
and he got one.
He got one.
You know,
I mean, Megan Good is definitely a win.
He had to be chased down the street by a white woman to get. She had to chase this nigga into the black woman's head.
I mean, if you're gonna get chased to a black woman,
have it be Megan Good.
I mean, that's an upgrade as far as I'm concerned.
Well, speaking of black people, our president,
strong Africans in democracy,
President Biden, finally looks like he's hitting the campaign trail.
I thought you might say something else. Finally look like he's about to kick the bucket.
No. He's hitting the campaign trail. But that was the thing. Like, people were saying, like, why is the campaign waiting? What are we waiting for?
Joe Biden to get there. He moving slow as molasses in January. He need to recharge his batteries before he get on the campaign.
And one of his first major speeches in South Carolina. And Joe Biden went to the church that was the unfortunate scene, Emmanuel Baptist Church, I believe. Yes, Mother Emmanuel AME, where 9 black parishioners were shot to death, killed, murdered by
2014,
2015.
Yeah, 2015, yeah.
And you know, just sitting in church minding their own business. I forget what was the dude's name? I forget the dude.
Dylan
Roof, right? And so Joe Biden went there, and he had some strong words for the Trump supporters.
On June 17th, 2015, the beautiful souls, 5 survivors, invited a stranger into this church to pray with them. The word of God was pierced by bullets and hate, of rage, propelled by not just gunpowder, but by a poison that has for too long haunted this nation. What is that poison? White supremacy. Oh, it is. It's a poison. Throughout our history, it's ripped this nation apart. It says no place in America. Not today, tomorrow, or ever.
Now it's interesting because you saw when he said, "What's the poison?" Somebody said hate. He said no.
The brother that was seated behind him was looking at him like, "Shut up, nigga." Like, I mean, okay.
I'm just saying, but can we at least like give him credit for not just saying the poison of hate, but actually like naming it? Like, no,
I mean, that's the bare minimum to
this
me.
is white supremacy.
But I mean, that was 10 years ago. We knew it was white supremacy 10 years ago. You know,
we know it's white supremacy now.
We know it's white supremacy now.
But did we know it was a poison?
Gee, golly, I don't know. But why are you going to a black church and saying this? Why
because he needs black people to vote for him.
I know that.
He needs black people to put him in office.
Go say that. Like, I'm so tired of whenever politicians do this, is they go to black churches and talk about white supremacy. We know it exists. We live with it. Go to a white church and say that. And I think like the pastor, whomever it is behind him, is looking at him like, nigga, I heard this before. Like, come on, keep it moving.
But remember, and I agree with that. Right. And
it sounded good though. I like the way he worded it. Like
it would be better. It's like, go do that work. It
your
probably would
community.
be more powerful.
Yes.
To talk to white people and white parishioners.
Not probably, it would be.
About white supremacy. But remember when it looked like Biden wasn't going to win the primary in 2020, and it was South Carolina. That primary like saved him and brought him back, and really probably the reason that he became the Democratic nominee and then became the president. You know what I'm saying? So like, here's Biden going back to the place that like saved him in 2020.
Asking for more help. I know South Carolina, there's so much has been happening to you. You've had Nikki Haley here. I apologize for that. You had Dylan Roof here. I apologize for that. I need some help.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, he also said, I owe you.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does.
Miracle, you're making a lot of faces over there. How do you feel about Biden kicking off his campaigning at, like Farouk said, at Mother Emanuel AME Church, at this church that was the place of a lot of white pain and trauma, and here comes Biden kind of using it.
White pain or black pain?
Oh, did I say white pain? Oh, shit. Black pain.
You are the co-founder of white supremacy.
We got a letter. From
the governor. Another day, I opened and read it and said he was the co-founder of white supremacy.
The letter referred to me as the co-founder of white supremacy. I think they meant this
Which
week
is a crazy
white
title.
If I was a co-founder of white supremacy, believe me, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be doing a podcast every week. So anyway.
Maybe you're a Trojan horse. I don't know.
Miracle. Huh? How do you feel about
I'm
this?
just here so I don't get fired.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Can I pass on this?
Why you want to? No, Miracle. No.
My thing is for the caucasity to come to a black church and say, I owe you, when you haven't even done anything for black people, when you could use your power of executive privilege to help black people.
Yes.
So disrespectful.
Wow.
Like, yes, you owe me, and when you gonna pay what you owe?
Wow. Say we in debt. You in debt right now.
The international affairs aside,
yes,
looking at what is happening in the domestic United States with affordable housing, with student loan debt, with the incarceration rates,
voting
with
ID,
policing violence, with just the affordability of IDs, all these things that you could do at the federal level through the power of your executive pen, and you do not, and then you have the nerve to come and say you owe me while also asking for a favor.
Yes,
absolutely not. Absolutely the F not, Joe. And the fact that like you're gonna sit there and try to like weaponize people's personal pain and experiences and actual fear of white supremacy so that they can galvanize like you're some white savior. Absolutely not. It's so disrespectful. And I wish our black elders knew and walked like they deserve more.
Wow.
And I
man.
wish our Black elders were like, you know what? Yes, you owe us, and you need to make plans right now of what you're going to do. Not in 2024, not in 2025, but right here in what is this? March, April, February, whatever this day is, of what you're going to do right now. Because for Black people, it's like, I owe you, and then here's this little carrot, and then you just get it dangled in front of you, and maybe you'll get it in 6 months, maybe you'll get it in 2 years. What are you going to do right now for the people you owe?
So, wow, yes. Wow. Okay, that's well rested, Miracle.
Man,
but so
that's
we get end the show on that note.
No, yes, and that's been
Speaking white supremacy, we'll see you next week.
But what he is attempting to do, like, and you're all that is 1,000% correct. Yes, but why Biden goes there and why he goes to this church is because he's trying to show the differences between him and these Republicans, right? So one of the reasons he goes to this church, so he can say, let me be clear. This is a quote from Joe Biden. For those that don't seem to know, slavery was the cause of the Civil War. There's no negotiation about that, right? Drawing the distinct line between him and Nikki Haley. Then he went on to say, quote, let me say what others can't. We must reject political violence in America. Always, not sometimes, always is never appropriate. Losers are taught to concede when they lose, and he's a loser, talking about Donald Trump. So he's really kind of making this argument to Black people that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I owe y'all, and I haven't been the greatest. My pockets have been coming up short, but I'm not them.
Not to defend Donald Trump, but did you just bastardize the pulpit and use that to call somebody a loser from the pulpit?
Yes,
like absolutely.
Trump. Yes, Blacks for Trump. Are you Black?
I am Black, but like, I live for the day when Black people don't have to be the main character.
Yes,
like where we don't have to worry about being pawns, or we're actually a part of the initial fabric of voter engagement.
What type of fabric? The kente cloth that Nancy Pelosi wore? Is that what you threw me the alley-oop, Miracle?
Or you just be like, this is a routine thing, because yes, Biden has called out white supremacy before. Yes, he has called out white supremacy in white spaces before.
True.
But I think this conversation would be so much more impactful to talk about Black issues in white spaces. To I don't know what Caucasian church he would go to.
Right. Maybe his own. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe, know, I'm an a-religious person, so I really don't know like all the churches that people go to. But it'd be nice.
You can't be mashallah Miracle and then be a-religious.
First of all, there is no compulsion in Islam. Don't tell me what I can and cannot. Ooh. Listen.
Yes.
I be going to study hall sometimes.
SubhanAllah.
Anyways, but yes, so I know that this is a presidential year and we're going to get a lot, but I think that this is also the year to demand everything from all of these elected officials, whether it is, the Black people in Iowa who are upset that none of the Republicans are coming to their forum and their conversations, but every single person who is running for office owes a debt of service, gratitude, and policy to Black people, regardless of their political affiliation. And I think that every Black person has the right and the duty to demand everything from elected officials, including Joe Biden. And that's all I gotta say. Yes.
That is so Johnny on the spot, because there is a national campaign that is gaining steam right now, abandon Biden. And if you want this spot as a Democratic frontrunner, you got to earn this shit.
Yeah.
You have to show and prove. And you came into office last time with all these promises to Black people and got so far on your own ego to say, if you ain't Black, or say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black.
Yes.
That was your campaign slogan. That
wasn't his campaign slogan. That was something that
became the de facto campaign slogan on the internet. If you ain't Black, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black.
I think he was trying to be tongue in cheek, but it definitely sounded crazy.
It's however you put it. The internet coined that as a de facto slogan and attached that to Joe Biden.
And is that why you voted for him? I couldn't resist. He threw me the alley-oop.
Great. That was fucking great. See what happened, Joe? First time I voted for you, you made me look an ass. Bruv,
but
you made a man like me look like a fucking idiot, man. You take man for idiot.
So speaking of the Republicans, right? Nikki Haley, former governor, she was the governor of South Carolina, right? Had a response to Donald Trump. I mean, President Biden. Basically, she called it offensive. She said it was offensive that President Joe Biden gave a political speech at the South Carolina church where 9 black parishioners were slain. This is from Nikki Haley. Quote, I don't know if you got the ether music ready. Quote, for Biden to show up there and give a political speech, it's offensive in itself. I don't need someone who palled around with segregationists in the 70s.
Oh.
And has said racist comments.
Get the other.
And has said racist comments all the way through his career, lecturing me or anyone in South Carolina about what it means to have racism, slavery, or anything related to the Civil War. What y'all think?
This is the gunpowder.
Fuck Joe Biden. What's up, niggas?
That was Nikki Haley. You love my style. So, Nikki Haley, is that fair to bring up Biden's career of, like you mentioned, you don't vote for me, you're not black, and
I mean, super predator Biden.
Right.
Hillary.
Right. But Biden was the architect of the
mass incarceration.
Right. He was somebody that
the grand architect of mass incarceration.
The grand architect is crazy. He did. What was it? Strom Thurmond and
Strong.
all of these different, segregationists.
A proud, just like Miracle, a proud colorist.
Right.
He was a proud segregationist.
Yeah. And remember, it was his vice president.
My colorism tilts towards justice.
Did Strom Thurmond have black children though?
No.
He did. He
did? Yeah, he had a black daughter.
Oh.
Yeah.
All of them were out here.
Yeah, he had a black daughter.
Thomas Jefferson
Essaying
tip.
your help.
Yeah, so
you said what?
He was on his Thomas Jefferson.
No, what you say?
That's what I said.
Oh, the help.
Yes.
No,
wow.
what's that?
Because there's power dynamics, and
True.
I will not
I
been to this whole they were in love.
Yeah,
and
no,
that was
not.
power.
Absolutely.
That was
absolutely
not consensual, and that's what I.
But it was his vice president, Kamala Harris, who actually brought this up during the debate.
That he was against busing.
Yes. Is that fair now to bring that?
I feel like you keep trying to set me up.
No.
I'm trying, but yes, I think it's fair because let's get what did Biden do? Outside of lay the pathway for what's going on now internationally.
Yes.
He was one of the reasons why we cannot file bankruptcy for student loan debt. He is one of the people who did fight against segregation. He is one of the people who were basically you need to go to jail and prison and more jail and more prison.
So they actually, listen to this, Nikki Haley's campaign actually had a timeline called Biden's racial comments and actions, such as a 1974 reference to himself as being a, quote, token black.
I mean, you know what? Okay, so hold on.
He fought Corn Pop.
He not only did he fight Corn Pop, Biden got a son with crack and gun charges.
I'm just saying. He
You can't put that on black people.
Card. Biden does not get a black card because his son has an addiction disorder.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Nigga got gun charges and drug charges.
And you know what that is?
You know
Caucasian.
Yes.
Do you know who does more drugs?
You saw Breaking Bad.
Do you know who runs more guns?
I know a nigga.
No, and the fact that we sit there and think the lowest common denominator of experiences where blackness
Miracle.
is high-key disrespectful.
Get that, man.
Hey, listen, I know a nigga that got gun charges and drug charges, man.
I thought he could play basketball and football.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely not. What we're not going to do is perpetrate this idea that violence and drugs are associated with blackness.
Just like
money and violence.
The most
playing the saxophone,
people,
isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
The most violent people in this world are these non-black people with weapons and bombs who create violence every single day, and they are not black. So we're not going to do that.
He also said, Miracle, Biden also said in 1981 that George Wallace, the segregationist former Alabama governor, was right about some things. In 2007, he said then Senator Barack Obama was, quote, the first mainstream African-American who's articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy.
Whoa.
They, Haley came with
even more. He's got problematic stuff.
He's got more.
And he's the one who pushed for clearance.
Oh, he pushed for clearance.
He's the one who disrespected Anita Hill during the
That is true.
hearings. So, like, Biden's got a list of things.
He has a list of things. Yes.
He got a list.
And Nikki Haley is saying enough with this Civil War stuff. Because
I got black friends.
I had black friends growing up, okay? I know a nigga.
No.
Nikki Haley know a nigga. Stop. Joe Biden know a nigga.
I mean,
doesn't all these edit points.
Somebody has to say to Nikki Haley.
The whole show is blurred.
Yeah, it's crazy. But somebody has to say with Nikki Haley, like, you cannot say this. I had black friends growing like at the one.
Why can't I did. I say whatever I want.
I mean, it's so
she talk about black friends growing up when she went to a school where there were no black people allowed. Let's not do this right now.
Let's not do this.
Like, again, I want black people to not be the main character.
Yes.
In what is going on right now. I want black people to just be able to go about our day with ease and peace. But no, we have to like worry about the most vile part of our history being just discussed every single day in these worst ways. This is not okay.
Yeah, and it's like to justify, again, but that's how, particularly on the right, the GOP, that's how they justify racism. The way they justify racism a lot of times is they have racism come through people of color. Right? They have racism coming through a Nikki Haley, a Clarence Thomas, right? And then because they have these black faces.
Nikki Haley's like Indian or something, right?
Yeah, she's Indian. Because they have black, Vivek, you know what I'm saying? Because they have black and brown faces, it's like, how can we be racist? We might vote for like a black or a brown person. We can't be racist, even though everything they say is like dripped and seeping with like racism and white supremacy. So, but, Nikki Haley, I don't know what, it's funny because what she didn't say, she said I have black friends growing up. What she didn't say is I have black friends now. That's what she didn't say. Where are your black friends now, Nikki? You know what I'm saying? Are they around you? Are they in her campaign? I don't see her with any.
Oh, her name is Nimarata.
That's her real name?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nimarata Nikki Haley.
It's funny because somebody had said on a note, like, I guess they were like Ted Cruz was like pushing some bill where like people couldn't, say what their pronouns are. And they were like a guy. What's Ted Cruz's real name? His name is like,
I think
Raphael.
Yeah,
they were like, you changed your name.
Right.
But I can't say they, them, right? But you want me to call you Ted or you want us to call you Nikki when that's not your real name.
Raphael Eduardo.
Yeah, get out of here.
That just goes to the point that white supremacy comes for us all and impacts us all negatively, where we can't even use our names or amplify our cultures without fear of not being able to become a governor or a senator. And that is by no means defending Nikki and Ted, but it's just talking about the ways in which white supremacy still impacts these GOP figureheads, and they are not doing anything to dismantle it, but just to ensure it continues to live on.
No, absolutely. And remember, we talked about last week about this coordinated white supremacist attack on Claudine Gay at Harvard. Mm-hmm. And one of the people who are at the forefront was a billionaire named Bill Ackman. And Bill Ackman is a billionaire hedge fund manager. He was one of these major Harvard donors that was saying they were going to take their money out. And he was one of the people that were pushing for Claudine Gay's removal because of her quote unquote plagiarism until somebody looked at his wife, Neri Ackman, who is a tenured professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and found out that she plagiarized multiple paragraphs from her 2010 doctoral dissertation. I think they said she had like over 20, she went to Wikipedia.
Damn.
I guess 2010, it was like, maybe you cats didn't know about Wikipedia earlier. I don't know.
The bar is low.
Yes, the bar is low. And so now, I guess Bill is not that mad at plagiarism. He's wondering why he tried to like defend his wife and his wife's plagiarism. Of course, right?
I think Miracle said this before. The mediocrity of white supremacy
Yes.
will always win over.
Yes. Yeah. So Miracle, how do you feel about this
Ain't
billionaire
no fun
head?
when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing. These men who are Nepo babies,
Yes.
who were able to buy their way into elite universities, are irate that the black and brown people they were told they were better than, they could
Yeah.
look down on,
Yeah.
are now the ones at their tables, in their institutions, on their TVs, and making the decisions for and with them.
Yeah.
They are irate and they are doing everything in their power to try to claim these last vestiges of white supremacy before they are no longer a majority in this country.
Yeah.
It is not working. It is failing, but it's going to be a very painful and violent few years as a result of that. His wife, not only did she plagiarize her dissertation,
Yeah.
she was lockstep with Bill as he
Yeah.
was doing this.
Yeah.
As he was not only coming after Claudine Gay, but was using his power and his privilege to attack students, private students, to try to prevent them from getting jobs, to prevent them from continuing education, was trying to get them expelled, even kicked out of the country.
Yeah.
She was okay with that. She was right there with them.
She was.
But she had skeletons in her closet.
Yeah.
And now that her skeletons are out, he's over here like, oh, it was a mistake. Why are white errors a mistake, but black errors something that we need to say is criminal?
Yeah.
And you should be fired for.
Right. When it was white error, this was his quote. Some plagiarism is due to laziness of the author. Laziness is not a great excuse for a member of faculty, but it doesn't seem like a crime to me, right? When it's his wife, it's like, oh, she might have did that by accident, whoopsie daisy. But, when it was Claudine Gay, she's setting a horrible example. He basically said she should not work. Anybody that has plagiarism background should not work until
Correct.
it's your wife.
And he was upset that she is still on the faculty at Harvard.
Yeah.
And basically created the precedent.
He created the precedent. Yeah.
That faculty should not be employed. But now it's like, live your values. And so we say all the time, these folks are hypocrites. They
Yes.
want to sit there and rant and rail against black and brown people, particularly black people. But when it's the time to like show and prove, they're always going to fail. And so he should have minded the business that paid him. And now people know his wife's a fraud. Now people are asking for her dissertation to be withdrawn so she can no longer be a professor.
Oh, wow.
Because she will no longer meet the standards and the requirements. So he has himself created a situation, and now people are trying to look at him and his investment to say, well, if your wife was committing, lies, are you committing fraud? So this is the game he played, and now everyone's playing a part.
Yes.
He's trying to use his power and influence to push it and to quell it, but it's out there now, and it's just going to be a very, interesting time where billionaires find out that they're just regular people as well.
Well, I think, again, it's like when you put it out there, and when you put it out there as such a, major, you made a super major investment and attack to say, if you plagiarize, you shouldn't be a professor. And then when we found out your wife plagiarized on an even higher level, there's an argument that what Claudine Gay did was not plagiarism, right? Even from the people that they said she took from, they were like, nah, we don't think that is the case. Now that it's your wife, now you want grace. Now you want all of these other things. You have a comment on this, Fru?
No.
So now I guess this is another piece, right? Where, Bill Ackman, people like Elon Musk are now saying that DEI in itself
Should be the target.
Well, it's racism.
Let's blame
That-
reverse racism.
That DEI, like the idea to try to have diversity.
How dare
and
you?
Inclusion.
How dare you think that you deserve to sit at the table with me? The audacity. You know what?
Yeah.
You might not be able to sit at this table.
Yeah.
But I know a nigga.
Please stop. Please stop.
Are we going to name that this episode? And then he's going to be searching his name one day.
This is the Know a Nigga episode, man.
For those that don't know, let's go.
Those that don't know a nigga, we know a nigga.
there is an athlete who went viral over the weekend because his name is Noah, Noah, and his last name is Knigga, right? So it looks like
we
his
never
name,
ignorant about getting goals accomplished.
he was like, well, it's A, right? It's not ER. It's not Knigger. So it looks like it's pronounced Noah Knigga, or maybe if the K is silent,
nigga.
Noah nigga, but it's, what is it?
Knigga.
Right? But they were just...
I just think that the family could have went through the steps to just like, maybe...
Put an ER at the end of it. No. Take the A off.
Just spell it differently.
Definitely. What is because you I
wonder what the ethnicity is.
What's the etymology of that name?
Like where are you from? There's like a silent K or a K.
Because I think he got like a scholarship to like Syracuse, and
he visited WVU.
Yeah, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, WVU, my fault."
Yeah.
And people were saying like the play-by-play folks.
Oh yeah, the analysts.
Analysts.
Yo, they're gonna
right, the sportscasters. Like only black people can say, like you have to hire a black person for his game.
You have to, like, you know what I mean? It's
Knigga, because you know when they look at his
the play broken up by nigga.
I mean, you know, like you're gonna have to like, what was the dude? The nigger. What was it? The Nigger Museum.
Oh man, had some barbecue. Went to the Nigger Museum.
Right. So like. You gotta like practice Knigga.
But you just see it.
He's Caucasian.
What'd you say?
Look at it. He's saying he's Caucasian and white from Indiana.
Yeah, he's a straight up white guy. You know what I'm saying? And you just gonna have Noah K. I guess it's gonna be what I'm gonna call him Noah. His mama calls him Noah.
I wonder though, if they will ask the family, like, we'll pay for a different spelling of you if you want to change the name.
I mean, at this point, he's like, I want to hear from him.
Yeah.
Like at this point, he's kind of low key famous.
Yeah.
Because his name looks like Noah Nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. And I'm sure, I don't know if when he gets around black people. Because if he was around me, I'll call you nigga. I'm sorry. Would he be offended by that? I can say the N-word, nigga. It's my last name.
Moving on.
My name is nigga. What's he talking about? Telling me what I can and cannot say.
To bring us back, I think the war on diversity, equity, and inclusion is a tool of white supremacy. And to me,
wait, you think that diversity in itself is a tool?
The war.
The war. Oh, absolutely.
War.
The war on DEI, yes.
Is a tool of white supremacy.
Yes.
But education is the one place that you need diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
We did a talk here with a couple of college students who were thinking about going into or already into the medical field. And that is one particular field where you need diversity. When we're talking about the medical equipment not being able to adequately capture black people's vitals because of the skin tone.
Right.
When we're talking about the prosthesis not being able to be correctly fitted because the robots and the scanners cannot look at the skin tone.
Yeah.
When we're talking about these medical advancements that are not being used to save black people's lives,
right, because
of our skin tone.
Yes.
And we need more diversity, equity, and inclusion to say, something is wrong here.
Yes.
It goes beyond not being able to use the dryers, in the bathroom. This is the people's way of life. And if we're talking about using technology and AI to extend life-saving measures, why is there an issue that Black and brown people need to be included in the study groups, in the surveys, in the beta testing? And so I would argue that diversity, equity, inclusion is necessary and is a requirement from all educational institutions, because you need to make sure your product is universal for everyone.
Right. Yeah,
and you need to, if you want the best bang for your buck, if you want to have a standard supply and demand.
We're talking about global economies.
Yeah. Like, you got to be able to compete.
Right.
And you got to be able to say, this works. You're making products that only work for a small percentage of the population when non-white people are people of the global majority, and that number is fast rising. You're about to be making products that are actually going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
So you need diversity, equity, and inclusion to be able to be in the game, to be able to be competitive, and to be able to engage in capitalism. Now, this is not my pro-capitalism rant. It's just saying the argument doesn't make sense to me. And there is no long game for some of these conservatives. Again, you're making people have babies that they don't want. They're not having Caucasian babies. They're having babies with their partners who are people of mixed race status, right? All the stuff they're putting out, it's not going to work. So they're playing a losing battle, and it's going to come to bite them in the end.
To me, it looks like here are these, primarily white men that were used to having these like really playgrounds for white men, where white men could do and say and harass who they want and be racist to who they want. And now that people are trying to hold them accountable, particularly like Black and brown folks and women, like they're pushing back on that. It's like, we don't want women here. We don't, come on. We have a history of them making like exclusive clubs, right? Exclusive, whether it's, where they play the Masters, golf ad or whatever, where you couldn't even get in as a Black person or a woman. You couldn't even get in, right? Black or brown women, even in some cases, if you were Jewish, you couldn't get in. These were exclusively like white male dominated places. And for many years, the corporate business structure were white male dominated spaces. And now when Black people are having success and women are coming in and we had this whole racial uprising in 2020 where we started to look at the boards of some of these businesses, right? The boards of some of these universities, and wanted to know why they were so white and why the decision makers were in many accounts like all white and primarily white men. And we asked for some diversity, and this is like the white lash. This is the pushback. This is somebody like Elon Musk. And when Elon Musk speaks, he's speaking as a man who has been sued numerous times, right? Because people were literally like at Elon Musk's establishment calling Black people monkeys, bringing nooses to work, right? Nigger on the elevator, doing all types of stuff. And that's something that he just was like, yo, if you can't deal with it, get out of here. And this is kind of where we're at, Farouk.
If you're looking at a lot of these corporations and a lot of these places for leadership, you know a nigga. If you gotta figure out who you making products for, you know a nigga.
Is it wrong that Noah nigga is white too? It's a white dude. He even took our name, man. Come on, man. We can't even have the. We got to fight to get the N word back because of Noah.
All my life I has to fight, nigga.
Clearly, Miracle Farouk does not want to. That's why we need Trouble's energy, right? Because clearly Farouk does not want to.
Clearly, you over here co-signing everything.
I'm laughing.
You over here co-signing everything he's doing.
I'm laughing.
Just Siri's the type of person who would like start throwing like stuff in the classroom, and then when you throw it back, you're like, "Oh my god, why are you throwing stuff in the classroom?" Like, have some class. We're in the classroom.
Wait, here's another story, Farouk. Here's another story.
Like, look what he's doing.
But again, this is all like really calculated though, Miracle, right? Because we're talking about like DEI, the attack on DEI. We're talking about like
because if you're doing DEI, everybody knows.
He can't stop. He cannot stop. He can't stop himself. In Florida, for
everybody know a nigga in Florida.
But in Florida,
it's different.
They're trying to pass law. Now, remember, Florida has been the ground zero for
Florida, worry about them
racist,
aliens.
homophobic,
They got aliens.
transphobic laws being passed. It's a lot happening in Florida. Now the Republicans in Florida want to pass a law where you could be fined for defamation
Crazy.
if you call somebody racist or if you call somebody homophobic. If you call somebody
I can't be racist. I know a nigga.
I'm not saying you're racist or homophobic, but I'm saying your words, policies, and actions are.
There we
Oh,
go.
wow.
Bam. There you go.
Okay, there it is.
There we go.
All
There
right,
you
all right.
go.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom. Good. Well done, Miracle. Well done.
It says an allegation that the plaintiff has discriminated against another person or group because of their race, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity constitutes defamation.
Who would have thought that in 2024, Florida would turn into Nazi Germany with palm trees?
It's crazy. It
Like,
is super.
It's insane, man.
But it's also this thing of like, you say you want free speech, right? And you say you want the ability to like say whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
You want the ability, like somebody like a Elon Musk, right? I'm a free speech warrior, right? I want to be, and people should be able to say this. But then if I say you're racist, now you want to sue me. Now you want.
What happened to my free speech?
Where's my free speech at?
Where are my
now,
rights?
Right. When the ADL and other organizations, Media Matters, was showing how on the X, right, formerly known as Twitter, that people were promoting anti-Semitic and white supremacist ideology.
That's the free speech we want.
He wanted to sue them. And he was talking about suing them and getting rid of them at that point. But again, but it's free speech. Remember, Elon Musk was the first to, the people that was following his jet took their account away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking this? We take your account away. Oh, you talking about some liberation? Remember, he was the one that said if you use decolonization, that was ground. So again, it also is weird. It's like, we want free speech for us. Again, it's going back. It's that Make America Great Again shit. You want to take this shit back to 1950, right?
Yes.
Speaking of Make America Great Again, Donald Trump is trying to stay out of jail. He's been out of jail though, but he's fighting multiple cases, 91 felonies, right? But Donald Trump his lawyers are arguing. Donald Trump is saying, I was president, I should have presidential immunity. And his lawyer, somebody asked, one of the judges that his lawyer is arguing said.
Did he say actually that he was president like in the past tense? I thought he was still president. Is that him? Is that him conceding?
I don't. When he did all these crimes,
Yeah, he was president.
when the crimes you accuse him of, he's president.
Okay.
And his lawyer argued that if he sent a SEAL Team 6, a Navy SEAL team, to assassinate a political rival, if he's president,
It's cool.
he's immune.
That's all you would hear.
Hey, yo. So, again, Miracle, when we hear that and we know, if Donald Trump gets into office.
He only said day one. Donald Trump said,
Man, listen.
if you can survive day one, you good.
It's like the purge.
He said,
literally.
day
It's the
one.
purge, man.
Literally.
Trump
Like-
said, listen, this is the Running Man, Hunger Games, and the Purge all wrapped in one. If you can make it these next 24 hours, you earned your spot in America.
So, but Miracle, this is why Biden is at the church, right?
Could you imagine that game? Like, what type of a game show that would be? Like, it would be like Marathon Man? If Trump had, Biden or some of these other political rivals, and he put the seals on them, and they had to survive for 24 hours, that would be a hell of a fucking show.
Particularly because Biden will have
We do so
Secret
much
Service.
good branding on here.
He would have Secret Service. So that's a TV show right there.
I'm telling you,
Show
man.
you how all wars are. Every
Like
little
Squid
elected,
Games.
every person that get their people, and then we just lock them all on an island somewhere.
And whoever comes
and then
out-
the regular people, we just live our lives.
But Miracle,
happy, healthy,
but
wise,
we're-
just going on about. Like, okay,
This is the problem. Is this why Miracle has been defending Donald Trump this whole time on the show? Miracle's been playing a long game. You ain't gonna send no SEAL Team 6 after me. So I've been critical of Donald Trump. This is where Biden's making this distinction, because if you're telling me, if they say Trump can't be prosecuted because of presidential immunity. Don't we have to do everything it takes to make sure this man doesn't become president again?
You're telling me that there is a choice between you and a psychopath who wants to slaughter people because they're his competition, and there is a question if we're picking you. Maybe there's something bad that you haven't done. Maybe if we're putting the choice up and people are still like, this guy is psycho, but maybe you need to look in the mirror, Joe, and be like,
wow,
is it me? What have I done?
Yes,
you know,
it's you
to make yourself a little bit better.
That is crazy.
You know, that's one thing.
Hi,
because like
it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Like, it's, you know, if you ever dated somebody and they're like, you want me or the streets, and you looking like, is streets
is calling.
Streets is calling. Q Future. Like, maybe you need to step up. Maybe you got to step your game up. And that's what I would say. Like, I mean, this season of America is just not.
It's crazy.
It's not my fave.
Yes.
You know, I feel like we should do a do-over. I feel like we need to like have some in-house conversations, fix some things, and maybe like give it a few years, start again.
And
what's
what's also so wild is like, as unpopular as and that's a great analogy.
That is great, yeah.
Because but as unpopular as he is, Kamala's even more unpopular. It's just like, yo, they picked the two worst people
and then basically said nobody can run against us.
I mean,
we shouldn't. We deserve better. We got what we have, and so the thing now is we have to push what we have to be better and to do better. And
okay, well, so who also is us? Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. Michelle Obama said she is terrified.
Okay, we're on Michelle.
About the potential outcome of the 2024 election. What's going to happen in this next election? This is a quote. I'm terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter, who we select, who speaks for us, who holds the bully pulpit. It affects us in ways sometimes I think people take for granted. So there has been a groundswell, Miracle, of people calling for Michelle. Again, we need a Coretta.
We need a black woman.
America's like Jonathan Majors.
A black woman.
We need a Coretta to save us. Could Michelle Obama be our Coretta? Miracle?
She could. Biden could give all his delegates to her.
Yes.
Biden could announce he's not running.
Yes.
And it would trigger states' emergency laws to have a new, a new delegation procedure for those states who've already went through. Here's my thing. I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. Biden is a man of a certain age. No, hold on. Wait. No, let me finish. During a time we're having
how much time you got left? That man is sick.
No. During a time we're having an unprecedented COVID-19 outbreak, they're saying is even worse than before.
Come on, Miracle, you're right.
It makes absolutely no sense for him to be the only nominee. Yes. We can laugh about what the Republicans are doing and their stupid forums and their stupid answers, but at least they're having forums.
True.
Yeah, that's very true.
At least they're having competition. Right. At least they're all getting, besides Trump, at least the majority of them are getting on a stage and engaging in the political process.
Yeah.
If something happens to Biden, right? Yeah. If universe forbid something happens to him, we're kind of like SOL.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't think the Democrats are really playing the long game, because if something happens between now and the next, election, we're now even more chaos.
Right? More chaos.
And so I think there needs to be conversations now. There's the Dean guy, nobody's really caring about him.
Nobody's no.
And the independents, like nobody.
And I mean, look, it's wild when you have a scenario where like both, like, because Trump is also super old, right?
One conviction, he could have a heart attack.
Yeah, like both parties are like accusing the other one of like having
who's gonna die first,
or like they both got dementia.
What's the over?
Like so, the Republicans are like Biden has dementia, and the Democrats are like Trump has dementia. That's where we are. We literally have like
Trump stinks.
2 dementia area. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
But 2 dementia age presidents is kind of wild. Now this is what I almost called her Miracle. Miracle is our Coretta. We're talking about Michelle, the nation's Coretta. She said the fact that people think that government doesn't really do anything, and I'm like, oh my God. Does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted. Those are the things that keep me up. So could this possibly be Michelle Obama like dipping a toe into the possibility of running? I mean, if she announced she was running and they announced this whole reshuffling.
What if she gets The Rock as a running mate? That would be crazy.
But she doesn't need The Rock.
No, she doesn't.
I don't think, but I think if her and The Rock ran,
that'd be crazy.
They would hands down.
Oh, it would be a landslide.
Yes.
And only because The Rock is seen somewhat more conservative.
Yeah.
But they both have international experience, international business experience, understand decision-making skills. I think we need something different. And not just because of people being sick and stressed out. I think that we are at a tipping point, not only in our nation, but in our whole country, where we are on the brink of total annihilation, and not because of people's apathy, but because people are quickly losing hope in governments all around the world.
Right.
And we need someone to be like, look, okay, if we're not going to build something different, this is how government can work for you, and this is how government can make things better, and at least give people the opportunity to figure out how to rebuild, because so many people are so laser focused in destroying everything because they don't want Black and brown people to succeed.
Correct.
That there really hasn't been an ability to move away from these identity politics that conservatives are using to weaponize attacks against immigrants and Black people, brown people. And I think that somebody needs to save Biden from himself, because he's trying to pivot to the right because he feels like he's lost the youth vote, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, there's a poll that USA Today did that 1 in Black voters are going to vote for a third party member.
Correct.
Come November. And he has basically fallen out of favor with Black and brown voters.
A lot, yes.
Yeah.
Black and brown voters,
Right.
youth voters.
Yeah.
And this rumored immigration bill is going to destroy a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's even going to make it even worse.
Yeah.
And so
What if Cornel West ends up winning as a third party candidate?
it's impossible. And
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just that you need so much money to run.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
He just doesn't have that money, you know.
It's just that he went from Greens to Independence.
Right.
Moving around, there's him, there's the PSL candidates, there's Jill Stein, there's like so many third and fourth party candidates that they're all running, and none of them are getting votes until November.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said Biden went from 87% of Black voters to now 63 and like falling. And so if you barely won with 87%, I did want to ask before we get to our white pages, you know, we are, it was another anniversary that came up.
Mm-hmm.
Another
anniversary.
Another January 6th. Anniversary, January 6th. Did you all have, and I guess they arrested like 3 new people? Get them all, please. Like,
they getting the DNA off the walls.
Any reflections?
The way I hate January 6th.
Because they were shitting on the walls?
Solely because of the amount of times y'all have brought up excrement on this podcast more than anything
Taco
else.
Bell needs to do a January 6th special.
Please stop.
Like a menu
There
just
is
for
like-
January 6th.
This cannot be.
It's like when McDonald's brings out the McRib, Taco Bell should bring out the January.
This cannot be.
Oh my God. Wow.
This just cannot
So
be.
is there any other, have you all done was there any other reflections on the 3rd anniversary of January 6th?
It's crazy that it's been 3 years because it
3
seems
years.
like it's been so much time has passed.
True.
You know, but the fact that there are more arrests being made, like it's how much time has been given out collectively?
Not a lot. Not enough for me. Not enough.
Yeah.
And the question is it enough to stop the next January 6th or next political violence. Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely.
They should have made an example out of somebody. Maybe they should have hung someone from them gallows they had for Mike Pence. Maybe that would have deterred somebody.
I mean,
just advocate to bring back lynching.
No, sir.
No,
that's
not
kind
at
of
all.
what you did. You kind of did.
For the white people that listen, I don't care what happens to them.
Farouk was like, "Oh, somebody for them gallows? I know a nigga."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Come on, it was right there.
God.
It was right there, Miracle. So
you know what?
All white pages for today.
I have reflections.
Oh,
I'm about to go stand in the mirror and talk to myself.
Come on, Miracle. We need you. We need our Coretta, Miracle. Yeah. We need our Coretta.
Miracle gonna look in the mirror and be like, "I know a nigga."
So our white pages for this week came at the recommendation.
This cannot be the man that be breaking people's hearts, like and just be destroying half the city. I cannot. I cannot. Be not this. I cannot. Lord,
our white pages.
It's not, but I know a nigga.
our white pages today.
Like, what did you eat?
Nothing. I mean, I had the avocado toast.
He didn't get his protein.
That's probably what he didn't get his protein. That's why he's acting like this. Pause.
Again, our white pages. This is that trouble energy. It goes off the rails. Whenever trouble is not here, the whole show completely goes off the rails. All right.
Breathe.
This was recommended to us by our good friend, and hopefully we'll have him on as a guest in this podcast very shortly, Chinjaraj Komanyika.
After this episode.
He's a professor of journalism.
Has
NYU.
he been accused of plagiarism?
He has not been.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? That's our brother. But he recommended this book. This is from Rachel Swarns. It's called The 272, The Families Who Were Enslaved and Sold to Build the American Catholic Church. The Catholic Church itself actually owned slaves.
Crazy.
And this is the documentation of that. This is an absolutely essential addition to the history of the Catholic Church. So Rachel L. Swarns, the 272, that is our white pages.
They said, if you don't take this communion, I know a nigga.
He's just going to stop. He's just going to stop.
Communion.
He's going to be
there's going to be
all week.
Is there a holiday coming up on Monday? I know a nigga, right? Yeah, okay, come on.
What's the holiday on Monday?
It's Dr. King.
Oh, it's Dr. King Day on Monday.
That's
Right.
what happens when you are not an African American.
Oh, let's go, Miracle. Let's get it.
First of all,
I'm Scotian black. I come from chattel slavery.
I said African American black. I didn't say Scotian black.
Yes, we don't even know what that means. We don't know what that word means.
Yes, you do. Don't play with me.
You can be a Canadian black.
Yeah,
and my family came from African American slavery.
Yes.
I don't know who you yelling at me for. I don't know your family.
So, do we have anything coming up?
Hold on. First of all, I don't like the way you took that tone of voice with me.
I don't like the indictment against my blackness.
I didn't say you weren't black. I said you were African American. You're the one who says you're Canadian.
Yeah, but
she said you might not be black.
I said you were Canadian black. What the hell? I didn't say you weren't
no,
black.
nigga.
Oh my God. First of all, it's both of you. It is both of you. It is both of you.
So
I didn't take away your blackness. I said you were not African American black.
So hot.
I said you were Canadian African black.
Yes,
Scotian, but yes.
So with that being said, do we have anything happening?
The anger in me, like it makes me not like any light skinned people.
That is
why
it makes her not want to be a Coretta, brother.
That is.
Okay. That's what it makes.
That is why my Coretta-ness has a color chart.
With that being said, Miracle.
I don't care what people
celebrate.
are doing.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's happening. Obviously, there'll probably be some type of Dr. King celebration in your city. You know, we honor and respect him. You know what I'm saying, on Monday. You know, and we will see you all next week. Hopefully, in
read
full
his first and
capacity.
last speech.
Yes.
Please. Dr. King in whole.
Yes.
And if you have
a letter in the Birmingham jail,
and do not take it out of context or whitewash it.
Oh, they're going to.
Hurt,
don't even.
Harm, pain.
Yes.
Probably not. in your best interest,
yes.
to quote Dr. King.
And we wouldn't have been able to celebrate Dr. King if it wasn't for a Coretta. We'll see y'all next week, y'all. This is White Supremacy. Peace, y'all. What hood?